Jackson Rudolph. I'm 17 years old. I've been doing martial arts for 11 years now. And before I started bow staff, I learned kamas, nunchucks, and sword, all before I ever even touched a bow. But now I've been doing bow for 10 years. The reason I like bow better than any of the other weapons is because of the versatility of it. The bow is a long weapon, and it's also got more weight to it than any of the other weapons do. And what that allows you to do is it allows you to have different categories of bow tricking. So like with the other weapons, you can roll them around your finger, you can throw them in the air, but for the most part, that's kind of it. You can throw it at different angles, but it's very limited. With bow staff, you actually have divisions of the tricks, where you can do manipulations, where it's all stuff that's happening in your hands. You can do body rolls, where the bow is rolling around your body the whole time, and you can also do those high difficulty level release techniques, unlike you can do with any other weapon. Finding your extreme is something that's always a long and very difficult process, but for me it was quite unique. When I went to my first US Open back in 2006, I sat in the back row watching all these great competitors that were sponsored by Paul Mitchell that were winning on US Open stage, watching them compete. I looked up at my dad and I said, you know what? One day I'm going to be on that team, I'm going to be on that stage, and I'm going to win. And this is an 8-year-old looking up at my dad saying what I'm going to do. And so my dad just kind of chuckled and he was like, okay, maybe someday. And then 4 years later, I won my first US Open title. And 2 years after that, I won my first US Open title for Team Paul Mitchell. So for me, it's always been a goal-setting adventure. So for me, when I find my extreme, it's been a process, because when I first started, I was really not the most talented martial artist there was by any means. When I was a yellow belt, my parents considered pulling me out of the program because I wasn't as good as the other kids. So it really comes down to just hard work and a relentless effort to make yourself better, and that's how you find your extreme. And looking back on it now, there comes a point when you look back on everything you've done and you really don't recognize one point where this is when I found it. You just kind of look back and you say, oh, it's here, and this is who I am now.